Hey. Hey, sorry, did you get that? Hey, yeah, did you get that? Did you get that?
Congrats on the new album that you've got coming out.
Thank you very much.
I've had a listen through and...
They sent it to you? I'm kidding. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Oh, no.
And I will say that Hate Myself and I Didn't Love You Anyway are my favourites.
Wow, two very different sides of the spectrum.
Yes, I know. Yeah. I really love them. Did you have a consistent fave throughout the process of making the album?
Damn. Yeah, yes and no. I think it was Can I Have It Back?
Okay, yeah.
That one is, I think it's track 4. That one is my favorite. I think it always has been. Just the lyrics. I've always loved putting like big, intense ideas in like the most simple words possible, like the smallest amount of words possible. And I think that one was like one that kind of checked that box. Mm-hmm. And I think those are the ones that kind of stick around for me. So that one's my favorite.
Nice. And I'm sure it will probably shift as you perform them as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. It always changes when whatever works live is kind of usually what you start to love the most.
When you look at kind of the evolution of you as an artist making music from when you were 14 to now, what do you think the biggest differences are with your mindset when it comes to the process of songwriting and production?
Yeah, I've always said the same thing. It's pretty clear to me that the older I've gotten, the main thing that's changed and the main thing that I've been kind of searching for more of is just intention and certainty. Like kind of growing up writing music and kind of, even from like 17, 18, 19 when I was writing my first album, I was just like riddled with uncertainty and just a lack of clear direction. I knew what I liked, I knew what I didn't like, but I was kind of still just throwing so much at the wall and trying to piece together the stuff that stuck. And I think now with this record kind of going into it and just feeling like, I've got a few, almost 8-9 years under my belt of like experience of songwriting, I had a pretty clear vision from the start of kind of how I wanted it to sound. And not even in terms of like references, it was just kind of, I knew my strengths and I kind of knew what I needed to lean in on and kind of which part of my taste kind of correlates to the music that I make the best of, you know what I mean? Because like I've got such a wide span of music that I listen to and I'm inspired by, but you got to find the stuff that actually works for you. And I think that's kind of what I found on this album, or these 2 albums, I guess.
Yeah, amazing. And I guess like talking about both the 2 albums there, you've said that Kicking My Feet is kind of about love in a more positive way. Yeah. Whereas this new album is kind of about falling flat on your face. Yeah. Can you tell me the most embarrassing thing you've done for love?
Damn. That's too many.
Too many?
Oh, that's hard. I'm trying to think of anything that I'm actually down to like spill. I don't know. I think I've done like a quadruple text of like, hey, sorry, did you get that? Hey, yeah, did you get that? Did you get that? I think I've done that a few times.
Okay, yeah.
I think I've definitely been a shameless double, triple texter.
Okay.
Throughout my life. And I think I've been with my girlfriend for the past like 6 years. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yes.
Because now it's even more shameless. It's like, hey, oi, babe.
And she's just got to cop it.
Yeah, she's just like busy.
I think like pretending to like music was probably mine. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? This isn't that embarrassing. But when I was first like trying to like win over my girlfriend's family, I knew nothing about AFL or anything about footy. And they're all from Melbourne. And they're like massive Bulldogs fans. And I... Again, like had no idea, but I was into my sport, so I spent like a week watching back game footage of like the biggest games in the history, and I watched the full game. I watched their grand final win in 2016.
Wow.
I watched the the prelims. Yep. I was like getting, watching videos how the rules were, like past players, like, I just became like an encyclopedia of just like around a few like little important things. So when I went to their first Christmas, like in Melbourne, I would just have all these references.
You had all the facts.
Locked and loaded, and now I am a massive Bulldogs fan because I got like taught into it. Yeah. And now I'm like, that was pretty embarrassing at the start, just like how much time I spent trying to just like win over her uncles and her dad and brothers.
I love that. Well, funny, I was actually going to end this by saying that I'm a Hawks girl.
Oh, true. I don't like playing you guys. You guys have, I think the last like 3-4 matches have cooked us pretty easily.
I wish my boyfriend did what you did. He doesn't give a fuck.
Really?
No, he doesn't give a shit.
Nah, you had to do it. You had to do it at the start.
On Hate Myself, you got to work with Kenny Beats.
Yeah.
Insane experience, I imagine.
Yeah.
How was that, and what do you think you took away from that experience?
Yeah, that song specifically was the first day we met. We wrote, like, we were writing for like 5 or 6 hours with another guy called Jackson Morgan. And yeah, he was like just very fun in the studio. Like, he works so quick. He's like very, like, kind of exactly how you'd think. Just like, I don't know if you watched The Cave and like, I mean, the stuff. I was a fan going in, and I think he knew that I was a fan going in, so he was like kind of loving it. We ended up kind of like writing for like 5 or 6 hours. I remember in the very first session, and nothing came out. And then like, I was gonna leave. I was about to be like, well, this doesn't work. We've got like another few days, like next week. Maybe this was just kind of a get to know you vibe. And then he just like did the whole bass line and drums, which is kind of the whole song. It's like these 2 sections in like 15 minutes. Like while I was like outside, like, I don't know, having something to eat, and I got back inside and he was like, "What's that about this?" And then I literally just like put down all the melodies in like another 5-10 minutes, and then we wrote like the most simple kind of dumb lyrics, and then we had the song pretty much finished in like the last 30 minutes of the session.
Oh.
So that was like a pretty wild experience to be like, okay, this is kind of how it works with this guy. And then I had like another few weeks kind of working with him on the rest of the record with Dan Wilson, which was amazing. It was like a little bit of a different vibe because he had moved into another studio and was a lot more kind of like jamming vibes, and we kind of like spend the whole day kind of putting one thing together instead of just like kind of trying to get something flash in the pan. So the process definitely changed, but yeah, it was amazing working with the guy. He's very, very, very good.
Was there like one main thing that you took away from kind of his experience or anything he taught you?
I mean, now thinking about it, it's kind of like a basic piece of advice, but like he is very much just like lean into whatever is authentic to you as much as possible. If you can find one thing that you have that nobody else has, like that is your North Star. And I think we found that in like some different ways while we were writing. But I think like by the end we kind of like had our North Stars that we could kind of lean into, and yeah, that was a good way to work. It's just like finding the most authentic thing to you and just making that the center of everything.
You love an alternative version pun.
Yes,
so
I do.
We've obviously had the cats, we've had the awkward.
Yeah.
Have there been any that you haven't been able to get across the line for whatever reason?
Oh, yes, there has been a few, but I can't remember any. I think for the last one, on Don't Say That, we had a couple other puns that came out that were a bit more simple, and I was like saying even less of that. And then it was like, which was like the acapella version. And then I wanted to make a really long one, just like literally not saying anything at all, like nothing at all, I promise. And I was just like, it's too long for Spotify. I was like, no one's going to listen to the sped up instrumental version anyway. It's just for optics. Like, anyway, but they didn't want me to do it. But yeah, I've tried to go like hard on just like make really long, stupid ones, but they want it to be snappier. But I do like the puns. They're fun.
As an audience member, we love them.
Okay,
more
good to
of
know.
would be
All
great.
All right, I'll do it.
You've also previously said that you get a really big kick out of auditioning for like movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
You've had Mary Beth Barone, obviously, in your music video.
Yes.
Went on Owen Thiel's podcast. Is there a world where we get Ruel in overcompensating or adults or...
I've been hounding Mary Beth's line for years trying to get me an audition. She's like, don't you know, you're mates with the owner. Like, you're mates with the writer. You're a writer. Like, surely she's got some clout. But no, she's just like, sorry, man, it's not for you.
Get in line, actually. Yeah.
But anyway, so again, another triple text I'm not afraid of.
It's for Mary Beth Barone. Okay, amazing. Yeah. So crossing fingers.
I'm crossing my fingers. Hey, maybe season 3 or season 4. I think they're just almost finished shooting season 2
yeah,
right now.
I think so.
But yeah, love the guys.
I did also see you post an Instagram story folding laundry to watching Off Campus.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I'm really annoyed, first of all, because I've watched the first 7 episodes with my girlfriend over the past like 3 days.
Yeah.
And then last night, so I've just got back from Europe, I was so jet lagged, I fell asleep at like 7 p.m. and I woke up in the morning and I was like, wait, like, you didn't watch it, did you? And she was like, I watched the finale. I was like, because I fell asleep so early, and she was trying to like wake me up, but I was just so gone. She was like, she watched it without me, and I'm like pissed off. And now I feel like,
What's
I just
the
feel like,
point,
what is the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm a little bit annoyed about the whole thing. So I don't know what happens at the end, if that's what we're about to talk about. Spoilers.
No, it's fine. I won't spoil anything.
Thank you.
I would love
Appreciate
if
it.
you watched it though. That would be great.
I am. I will watch it. It's just not going to be as fun, you know?
Yeah. It's going to be tainted when you
It
do
is.
it now.
Exactly.
So sorry for that experience.
No,
Wow.
I appreciate it.
Something that I've found a lot of interest in recently is kind of the idea that Australians are notorious for having tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously you living in kind of a 50-50 of LA and Australia, how have you seen that kind of idea evolve, and do you think it is prevalent in our culture here?
I think it is to an extent. I think it's kind of falling apart though in a good way. I'm seeing a lot more artists come out of Australia with just like unapologetic confidence in themselves, which is like great. I feel like I hadn't seen that, and I definitely didn't have that. And I don't know. I was talking to Mulrat a few weeks ago. I think I see her, and like a lot of the Aussie artists kind of meet up in LA and we'll hang out because it's just kind of, you know, nice to be around your own kind. And she was just saying how she loves just being around people like that more than humble people. Like she loves being around people who just like are so sure that they're the best shit since sliced bread, because it's like so much more. And I remember when she first told me that, like I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know. And now I'm kind of feeling that as well. Like you don't have to be that necessarily, but being around that energy is like super inspiring, and it kind of can lift each other up in the best way to make more out there art and just feel like you can be yourself more. But yeah, I still think toppy hole syndrome is always going to be a thing in Australia. I just think that's just kind of how we're born and bred, which I like parts of it. I don't like parts of it. I like being in LA where it's not a thing. It is nice.
Yeah. I would love if we embraced that a bit more here and like lifted other artists up.
Exactly. Because that's the hard thing. It's like that's obviously the bad thing is people bring people down. But then it's like the positive part is just like that people like don't get arrogant and don't get
keep
narcissistic
you grounded.
And exactly. Which is obviously a bad thing, but you know, there's a fine line between kind of self-confidence and narcissism.
Well, I guess with that, I'd love to take a beat to chat about some Australian artists that you've been loving at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyone that you've been bumping recently?
Ooh, I did like a week of writing like 2 weeks ago. With the oh my god, having a Holly Hebe, who's amazing. Oh my god, why am I having such a mind blank? Their song Rager.
Do you mean Blusher?
Blusher. Jeez, that was really killing me. I don't know why. But anyway, they were lovely. And the Spacey guys as well. So I don't know. I kind of just spent a week with them, just like all making music and having a good time. So I kind of just like fell in love with those artists again. But yeah, Spacey has been like, I can't wait for their next album. I love those guys so much.
Yeah, super exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to end on a question that I asked them when they were in here.
Okay.
And it's something that I do with my housemates every week when we do house dinner. And we do peak, pit, and papaya. So like highest of the high, lowest of the low, and then like a fun experience. So for you, what have the last like 5 months, you know, what's the peak, pit, and papaya for you?
Okay, I'm going to go peak was the last show of the US tour in LA, which was like, a big kind of release of, you know, exhaustion as well as just like pent up anxiety about a tour and just like it being all kind of over and just like an amazing, you know, show at the Palladium in Hollywood, and like all my friends were there, and it was just like, that was an amazing experience. Like, I loved that show. The Pit, oh man, you know, a Pit, I would say it was in the middle of tour when you got like 3 days off in the middle of like in Wallsboro, Oregon, or whatever you're in, and you just got in the middle of nowhere in a town, and you got like 2 days off there because like the driver's got to sleep and you can't leave. You're trapped there, and there's just like nothing to do otherwise. Like there's like a Wendy's and a bloody McDonald's.
Yep.
And like those days is what makes you like wonder why you're touring in the first place, because it's like the boredom you'll never know.
That is what Spacey said as well, was their Pit.
Really?
Was like going in like those random cities in America. Being like, what the fuck do we do?
Exactly. It's just it's a weird vibe in the States right now, especially. And then papaya. I mean, I kind of want to stick on like the tour.
Would you say Lollapalooza?
Oh, thank you for that.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Yep.
Well, yeah, South America, again, that was probably peak as well. But I going through Chile. I would say Colombia was my papaya because
Ooh.
Colombia was a place I never thought that I would play.
Okay.
And I went, played. It wasn't Lollapalooza, but it was part of the sort of festival run. It was all like kind of the same lineup, but it was so beautiful in Bogota, and it was so much fun. All the people were amazing. And I remember playing, I went out onto the set, to my set, and I was like playing a pretty early slot, and there was maybe like 30 people there at my set. And I just came from like 15, 20,000 people in Brazil. And it was like literally the next day, I was like, shit, I ain't popping in Colombia. But it was like the best day ever. And I loved it so much. So I ended up just kind of like hanging out at the festival as like a punter that weekend. It was great. I didn't get bothered.
Yeah, sick.
But it was, that was a pretty fun experience.
Yeah.
Funny experience.
Okay.
Going from like the big high in Brazil, like my biggest crowd ever, to like the next day. It was like,
keeping you grounded.
Yeah, 35 in Colombia.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, congrats on the album. It's
Thank you very
amazing.
much. I can take this home, right?
No.
Shit,
Sorry.
Thank you.